I am the Land Information Officer from Washburn County. I had called Martin about 2 weeks ago and I said, you know, I never get up and talk at these things, and I've been doing this for 12, 14 years now. And you're in our county, and I really wanted to get up and talk about our program. So thanks, Martin, for giving me some time. And I'm just going to hit on some high points and where we're at with our program and some of our staff. And yeah, I want to talk about how this money has been affecting our department over the last couple of years. It's been a huge influx into our county, which has allowed us to do some things that we never thought we could do. So I just have 4 or 5 slides, and I'm going to go through it pretty quick because Martin said I only had 5-10 minutes. So I thought I should quickly just introduce our staff. Steve Walk, the county surveyor, he's been there since 2003. Is Dan Pfluger here today?
No.
Doesn't look like it. Well, anyway, he took over for Dan Pfluger, who ended up going to Sawyer County. And at the time when I got there, Ben Klitsky was the deputy surveyor. And so that picture that I've got of Ben Klitsky there is not Ben, that's Christopher Gregory, who's now over at Sawyer County. I didn't have a picture of Ben. Ben just started back up with our county about 6 months ago, so he's made full circle. And now he's our deputy surveyor again, so he's left Douglas. Paul Deneen down at the bottom, we hired him on in about 2005 as the mapping and field tech. And so he went out in the field some with the deputy surveyor, and then he did a lot of mapping stuff. And in my mind, he's our MVP. He does a lot of stuff. He's very good at what he does. And now he's moved into the tax lister role. So he still works right next to me, and it's been a good situation for me and him. So this is what it's all about. We've got 3,055 government corners in our county. When I got there, basically we had coordinates on these 3, part of Chicago, and that was about it. And at the time we were doing some contract work with local surveyors, and when Steve got in there, he decided, nope, we're going to go completely in-house. And we've been slogging through the county ever since then, and those are the last 2 townships we have left to do. And we're up in Frog Creek West and East, and there's a lot of frogs and a lot of creeks. And that's why they're the last ones to do. In fact, I kind of was on the fence about it, but I think we're going to have to get them a different type of ATV vehicle to get around up there. That area was actually hit pretty hard with floods this year with the flooding that went on, so I think we're getting an Argo. But anyway, those are the last 2 towns we have left to do. I've done the parcel mapping. I followed up behind them. So everything that we've got that's in yellow right now is tied to good control. We did hire a consultant, applied data consultants. Doug from Vernon County actually helped me with that at the time. And they came in and they did do quite a bit of mapping on the eastern part of our county that didn't have control. We wanted to get all of our mapping done like a lot of counties wrestle with. We ended up getting it all done. And I've gone over and remapped it now. So it's kind of, it's one of those deals. Do we wait or do we just do it? We just ended up doing it, but we have remapped it now. So it's all been tied into the control. Parcel fabric is done county-wide. We just met as a land council yesterday, actually, to go over our grants for the year. I am the LIO, so that was fun putting that together. We have met, or will be meeting benchmarks 1, 2, and 3, and we're hoping to meet benchmark 4 either the end of 17 or the first part of 18 when we get Frog Creek done. So, one last thing. I did highlight where we're at today because I got almost lost coming up here. I'm never up here, and it's pretty remote. So we are next to one of the finest resources in the state, I think, in the Nemacolin River. And that starts up in Bayfield County, snakes down through Sawyer County, ends up running through our county, Washburn, over into Burnett County where it ties into the St. Croix River. That takes you down through Burnett County into St. Croix County, and then it dumps into the Mississippi down to Prescott. So if you're ever up here and you want to do a canoe kayaking trip, look up any one of those counties, and it's a great resource. There's a lot of private campsites along the way, and something worth checking out if you ever get the opportunity. So this is really what I wanted to talk about. So a couple years back, I remember there was a survey that came out, do you have LiDAR data? And of course we said no. Are you ever going to have LiDAR data? And most people would answer, yeah, at some point we're going to get it. My boss said, no, we're never going to get it. I thought, well, Steve, we're going to get it at some point. But anyway, you know, it was a big expense, and because of the fact that, you know, we got the strategic money now, we've got 100,000 instead of 50,000 in base budget monies, it has made it possible to pull off some of these projects that we didn't think were possible that, you know, just a few years ago. So last year we actually flew LiDAR in the spring. We flew a pictometry flight in the spring. That's a lot of money, and we wouldn't have been able to do that. Now I will say that we've been saving up since 2012 for these projects, but nevertheless, it was going to be very difficult without the increases in the money. So I want to thank the larger counties for helping us smaller counties get some of this stuff done that's really difficult to do. And we had some real help from the GIO. Jim, thank you if you're here. There you are. And the DOA in securing a 3-depth grant, and I think Adam was very instrumental in that as well. So thank you guys for that help. Otherwise, these things probably couldn't have happened. So that's what happened in 16, and obviously there's a lot of other things we did, but those were the highlights. 2017 is all about the ROD office. So we're going to throw a ton of money at our ROD office in the next year, year and a half, and we're going to get them into a position where our new ROD is going to be much more comfortable. We got to get caught up on some things, and we're going to pretty much scan everything that her whole hit list is going to be gone after the next year and a half. So once again, without those funds, it would be very difficult to get some of this stuff done. So thank everybody for helping out these smaller counties. Last couple things I just wanted to touch base on. This is something that we're pretty proud of. We kicked out our last 2 plat books in-house, and we think they turned out pretty well. We've gotten some pretty good compliments, so I'm going to leave these hanging around if anybody wants to look at them. We've also produced our own 911 road atlases that the DNR helped fund this project, but we kicked that out in-house. And then last but not least, I know a lot of people that do what we do run into this situation. You come in, you're doing something new, especially in some of these counties, and this is what we've been dealing with since I've gotten here, and it's been a good thing. We had a tax lister who just retired last year. His name was Ron Bennis. He'd been there 35 years. And this is what he used to manage the roll with. He drew up his own maps, and you know, it was kind of a double-edged sword because everybody loved Ron's map. You got a Ron map? Yeah, I get the Ron map for you. But it got to the point where it's like, you know, we do have another product here that you guys can be using and this and that. But it was a great resource for us. When you're parcel mapping and you can see what the picture looks like, you know, it makes it so much easier to actually do the job. So when Ron retired at the end of 15, it's like everybody's, you guys going to have something comparable to that instead of having to go on the GIS website and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, we could probably put something together. Of course, I wasn't going to babysit all of that annotation, you know, names, and he's got document numbers on here, and he would update that stuff on a daily basis, and then you're thinking, we're kind of duplicating roles here, but I wasn't going to force the issue. So this was our solution. So these are the new ROT maps, and we can update the whole county in about, well, it takes me about a half hour to 45 minutes, but it's stuff running in the background, so technically it doesn't even take me that long. But we've got a little model built that kicks out a new index on the side, which gives us our internal PIN number. We call it the map ID. We carry 3 different PIN numbers in Washburn County. Then we got the ownership name, and then we got all of the legal information that's coming out of the roll. So we can update that index with, we got a model that we run, and then I just basically have to export those PDFs out, and then we stick them out onto our website. And so I'll just show you real quick. This is our county website, land tax information. Of course, it used to be that we just went into geographic information. Now we can go into our parcel maps PDF. I was really hesitant to do this. So it's just a web app that we put together. I always use a mouse. So once you get zoomed in far enough, there was a splash screen there that told you how to do this, but once you get zoomed in far enough, you'll start seeing red boxes, which is basically our index file for all of our maps, polygon file. You'll be able to click on it and download the PDF map. So now the public could access these if they want them. The problem is they're built for an RC size, so 24 by 18. But we now, if people want something like that in-house, they can print it out to our plotter. I don't know how much it's going to get used. I've been following the usage on there, and it has been getting used some. So we'll see. It doesn't take much to maintain, but it's there for people to use now. So anyway, that's all I have. I appreciate everybody for coming up today, and I saw that on the agenda that it's going to be here. I'm like, well, geez, I got to get up and talk. So anyway, thanks again. It's good to see everybody.